Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike O'Brien, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use TubeBuddy to grow your channel, get more subscribers, more views, and ultimately more revenue for your channel. Now, this is something I've been using for a while. I currently have a bunch of YouTube channels. My main one has over 200,000 subscribers and 35 million views. That's my tech review channel. And I've been using a lot of tools, like TubeBuddy tools, to grow my channel. There's a lot of really powerful things in here. Some of them are free, so you can just get the free plugin, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. And other ones are paid, because honestly, it comes down to where you're at in your channel's career. So if you don't have a lot of money, maybe the free version is the one for you. And if you have some money to put back into your channel and you're looking for the tools that are available with the paid version, maybe you want to consider upgrading to that paid version. So with that being said, guys, there's a lot to talk about in this video. We're going to head over to my desktop in a second, but if at any point in this video you decide that you're interested in this, you want to learn more about how to grow your channel, you want to be successful on YouTube, consider going down and clicking that subscribe button and the bell icon, and of course, leave any comments with any questions you guys might have. All right, so here we are on my desktop, and as you can see, I'm using my primary channel, my tech review channel right here. I have over 200,000 subscribers, and I've used TubeBuddy to grow a lot to this point. So TubeBuddy is great for choosing thumbnails and optimizing and really digging into the analytics and making it really meaningful and easy to digest. So it's one of the things I use to save time, and also it has some really great tools I'll show you throughout this video. But you can see, first of all, it is a Chrome extension. So if you're using Chrome, very easy to get, but you can get this on other browsers as well. I just prefer Chrome, and it integrates really well with YouTube Studio. As you can see right here, if we click on this little thing, it gives us a ton of different stuff. The top things are actually just navigating around YouTube Studio, and we'll get into this in a second, but I also want to cover all of the extension tools that really guide you from choosing a video with the Keyword Explorer to optimizing the video, creating your perfect title, thumbnail building, all kinds of stuff like that, and as well as the website tools where you can really get into some like valuation reports. A/B testing is a huge one. I'm going to talk a lot about that because personally, that is my favorite feature on here. If you use nothing else from this video, I highly recommend A/B testing. Other than that, we're going to talk about all this different stuff, tons and tons of powerful tools with TubeBuddy. But like I said, we already have it on this channel. So what I want to do is actually go to a different channel that does not yet have TubeBuddy. Okay, so here we are on OBN Creators, and as you can see, I actually don't have TubeBuddy installed yet. As I mentioned before, there is a free version as well as a paid version, so I'm going to show you how to set up the free version first and then upgrade to the paid version, and I'll show you some of the differences and the tools you have available. But starting off, the first thing we want to do is open a new tab, and you can either copy and paste the link in the top of the description, or you could type in tubebuddy.com/OBN, hit enter. This is an affiliate link, but of course, like I said, guys, it helps keep the content free on this channel. There's also a free version of TubeBuddy, so it really doesn't hurt to do this. And we want to then click install free now. So installing free now is going to take you to the Chrome Web Store. We will say add to Chrome. We'll say, yes, we do want to add this extension. And of course, you'll see that there are a million users, very popular, very, very common that people are using this with most channels out there. I know there's a couple other alternatives, but TubeBuddy has really become quite popular. So right there, okay, TubeBuddy has been added to Chrome. Good, that looks good. And then what I want to do is actually sign in. So sorry, that little bar is covering that. So I want to say, yep, I read that. I agree to the terms of service. And then we're going to sign in. Okay, so once you're all signed in, it takes you to the account page on TubeBuddy. And what we can do is go back to your channel dashboard and refresh that. And we should be seeing TubeBuddy right up there. It's going to say we have to sign in here as well. So we'll say, yes, we did both of these things. We read that. Actually, no, I'm not going to subscribe to that. But we read the terms of service, and we can sign in with YouTube, sign in with our account. So sign in with our account there on our YouTube channel, and it's going to be set up. So we can choose this stuff here, and we can either allow or not allow. I'm going to obviously allow for this one, and then we're ready to go. So TubeBuddy is going to be set up with this channel. We now have TubeBuddy up there. This is the free version, as you can see here, the starter license, and we have all these things over here. So we can still navigate on the left side, and kind of might as well just get into this right now. Starting off from YouTube Studio, when we click on that little TubeBuddy icon on the top right, the first 5 items are actually the same as these items over here. So it's just an easier way to navigate around. If you'd prefer to go to playlist, you just click on playlist right there. It brings you over there. You can go to analytics. You can go to anything you want up here. You can go to videos, live streams, and it just brings you around. It's the same as clicking over here, but it is a little bit more convenient that it's up there, and you can kind of get into your other tools from there. Now, everything below these little expandable boxes, so extension tools, for example, these are all tools that you're getting from this extension. So these are not things that we're really seeing anywhere in the YouTube Studio dashboard. So with that being said, let's kind of go through these. Starting off, the first one is your Keyword Explorer. And they kind of go in order a little bit here where it makes sense. You're choosing keywords to kind of get an idea of what kind of interest is out there. And once you start to really develop your channel, I'll be honest, I don't really use this feature much because you start to kind of you get an intuition for it, and you kind of know, like you can look up videos and kind of tell from yourself what is working, what's not working, and how to choose the right video topic. But when you're starting off, this is a great tool to figure out what's trending right now and where there is a possibility of you to kind of start newsjacking or fame jacking and get your foot in the door with some new content that otherwise is not really that competitive. So for example, if we want to make a video about Bitcoin, that could be something we type in Bitcoin. And keep it very simple. Don't type in your entire title, just Bitcoin, nice little keyword, and it'll tell you a bunch of stuff here. So it'll tell you, first of all, unweighted. It tells you, not worrying about the size of your channel. It'll say that this is poor because there's a lot of search traffic, huge search traffic. There's also a lot of competition, and you'd have to be really, really optimized. So it's very hard to rank for the word Bitcoin. It's not going to show you everything here because this is the free version. So from here on, I actually want to go over to my other channel. So if we go over here, and we'll start doing the same thing. So go to Keyword Explorer because I want to show you guys something else here. So if we want to say, like maybe Bitcoin, and we can explore. And once again, you'll see that we have unweighted, which is going to say poor. But because my channel is relatively large, weighted, it's not a large channel, but it is larger than a small beginner channel, right? It's 200,000 subs. It's large enough that weighted is going to show a much higher score. So here it says excellent because there's a lot of search volume, but also I have a relatively large channel compared to a lot of other people making these style videos. So it tells me that I could rank very high for this. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, definitely take this with a grain of salt because what TubeBuddy Keyword Explorer is not accounting for is the difference in subjects. So because I'm a tech review channel, there's some overlap with Bitcoin, but not nearly as much as somebody who might be a financial channel. So because of that, my subscribers might not be that interested in that. And that's something that the Keyword Explorer is really not going to tell you. It only tells you purely based on your channel size, how probable is it that you could rank for this? And it's relatively high here, but again, they're not accounting for what your subscribers are actually interested in. Now, of course, on the right side, they have a lot of really cool things like related content. So maybe you might be interested in Bitcoin mining. So you can click on that. It'll talk about, it'll show you essentially the same thing. So weighted, unweighted, and apparently Bitcoin mining is something that has extremely high search volume, and people are averaging far more views for that than they were for just Bitcoin. So that's kind of what it's doing here is it's really looking at the average view count on the top ranked videos, as well as the lowest view count on the top ranked videos compared to your average view count per video. You can see web searches as well because sometimes you might be wanting to rank on Google instead of just on YouTube. I've had videos that gain a ton of traffic externally from Google searches, and it's a great way to kind of target something that a lot of people might not be targeting. And of course, video topics would just kind of give you some ideas. So you could say how Bitcoin mining works. You could have an animation of it. These are common searches if you're looking for a full topic idea that's related to a specific keyword or subject. And so that's why I think this is a really cool tool. Now, I didn't even talk about the things up here, so we can go to results, and they show you when you type in Bitcoin mining, this is what's going to pop up on YouTube. And you'll see that obviously they tell you like this has a lot of views, 500,000 views, like they're all getting a lot of views. They're relatively large videos, and you can kind of dig into this and see how good the thumbnails are, how many views they're getting, and how competitive it's actually going to be. You'll see the keywords stuffed all over there. And it tells you, of course, I own 0 of 20 search results because it's not something that I currently compete with. So realistically, if I was going to do this, I could say like best earbuds 2020. Obviously, that was last year. And it would tell me my score should be really good. Excellent one. Okay, 100. So that makes sense. And if we go to results, I believe, yeah, I'm ranking number 1 anyway. So it's cool that it shows you like how many of the search results you rank in. So this is something that you would definitely want to consider because if you have more real estate in that search term or in that realm of category, then it's more likely that your subscribers are interested in whatever you're looking for. It kind of makes sense just to make sure that your channel is staying on topic. If we go to historical, it's going to tell you, actually right now Google Trends is refusing to connect, but essentially it's going to take you to the same thing as going to trends.google.com, and we could type in whatever we want. So Bitcoin, you'll see probably an uptick on this. Yeah, so that's essentially what it's doing. This is pulling from Google Trends, so you could always just go to Google Trends if it refuses to connect for whatever reason, and we can go to map and see, this is probably also Google Trends, yeah. It's also Google Trends. It's going to show you the map of like where the searches are from. So that's the first tool here. That is the Keyword Explorer. And if we want to continue down, we have SEO Studio. And I'm not going to get super in detail with every single one of these. I'm going to show you guys how to use them, but I don't want this to be like a 5-hour video, of course. But here, what we could do is build the perfect searchable title, description, and tags for your video. So it's kind of like the next step once you chose the first thing. So let's just say we want best earbuds 2020. And we could say start. And it kind of gives you like the SEO score right now. It's going to show you essentially like you start filling in what it's going to be. So we could say, all right, the title is really short, and it tells you right there that you want to have more keywords there. And you can kind of optimize it here. So you can choose your title and test things out here, and it'll give you a score. So like, oh, that was a really bad idea to type that. And we could say AirPods versus Samsung. And it's going to give you like a better score based on like how many keywords you have, what the search is for each of them. And of course you want to populate your description. It's just cool to kind of give you a better idea of how to do that stuff. Then you have tags. Honestly, I don't bother with tags, especially once you have a larger channel. YouTube themselves, they say that tags don't mean anything. If you have a small channel, I mean, you could fill the tags in for fun. It's almost like a superstition thing at this point. Maybe add tags if your channel is really, really tiny, but realistically, Google and YouTube their algorithms so strong that they can identify what you're saying in the video. They know what's in the title. They know what's in the description. Tags are really becoming obsolete. But regardless, if you upgrade, you might as well just add the tags anyway. It's easy enough to do. And then you can go and create your thumbnail and see what it would actually look like next to the other ones that rank well. So this one is mine actually, and I rank right there as well. So if I was going to make a thumbnail, I would probably want it to be consistent with my own thumbnails. But of course, this is something that you want yours to really jump out. So I liked GameSky. GameSky did a good job there. I really like his thumbnail. Going down to apply to the video, you can either save it as a draft or you can literally dump all of this stuff onto a video that you're uploading, which makes it really convenient, really easy to kind of go through the whole process here rather than when you're uploading the video through the standard YouTube Studio. So another really cool tool there. That one is one that, I mean, I use a little bit, but I started to use it less just because I'm a little bit quicker with doing it on my own. Going down Video Topic Planner is, again, that's not something I really use, as you can see here. But you can add new topics if you just kind of want to keep track of them. So that's not something that I'm especially interested in. But really, the first two, when you're a small channel, can be very, very powerful. Going down to tag list, again, that's something that I said tags, like I used to make, tags were important back then. And that was back when I was doing like TV app reviews, kind of, is how I kind of got into tech. And you'll see that like you can save lists if you want, but I don't do that anymore. So I don't have a whole lot to say about that. The best time to publish is something that is really cool. This takes you into your analytics. It's something that already exists without TubeBuddy though. So you can go and look at this chart and it shows you kind of like a heat map of when people are watching. And as Nate and I mentioned in our course, and we'll link this down below as well, we have a full course telling you exactly how we make videos, how we choose topics, everything we do. But we mentioned in there how you want to find the best time to upload. And honestly, YouTube's or TubeBuddy is completely in sync with that. That's exactly when I said my time would be Saturday around 10 a.m. And so they'll tell you like the best time and the best day to do that, or the best time for each day if you want that. And of course, live stream has the same thing. I don't really live stream as much, so I believe that would not be as relevant. It says a little bit later, so it makes sense. But again, your upload time is something that a lot of people ask about. They don't know when to upload. And when you're first starting out, you kind of do have to just randomly sample and see when the best time to upload is. But once you have enough data to really have this map filled out in a meaningful way, then it's easy to identify the best time to upload. And TubeBuddy also makes it even easier for you. So that's something that I highly recommend you guys look at, the best time to publish. And then ClickMagnet is another really cool one where it's going to essentially tell you which videos have a lot of potential. So it's going to start processing. It's going to show me which videos have potential. But I do have a little bit of a caveat with this I want to tell you guys about. So we could say right here, CTR opportunities. That's a big one I go for. The other ones are, of course, very powerful as well. But CTR opportunities is a really cool one, but also one that you have to kind of be hesitant about. So the way this works, as it says on the left side, is it essentially finds videos that, as they say, are proven winners. So videos that have a lot of watch time, that have a lot of engagement, have a lot of comments, but for one reason or another don't have a high click-through rate, higher at least than your average. And this is something that can be very powerful. So if I'm going down these, I could say, for example, like this video, clearly people liked it. It was at least a decent performance, but the click-through rate maybe wasn't that high. 3.8% is really low for my channel. And I know that it didn't get a ton of views. I think it was probably around 100,000 views, which for my channel is not huge. And so I could maybe rework this thumbnail and gain some more views. Again, this one is actually a really good example here. This one had a decent one, but I know that if I made this a better thumbnail, I probably would have made it a little bit brighter, then it could potentially perform even better. But they show you the highest ones. These are the ones that I would usually skip over. And you probably know this yourself. These are videos that are already performing very well for me because they're videos that, so to really explain this, essentially, your click-through rate is going to be dependent on the source of your traffic, and that's not being accounted for here. So, for example, if I made a video that was heavily targeting search, but it wasn't as good as it could be, right? So a good search CTR for me would be maybe 15%. So if I make a video that's really targeting a very specific search that a lot of people are searching, all of my traffic, maybe 60, 70, 80% of it's from search, and the CTR is going to be like 10%, then this is not going to identify that as a low CTR, but I know that it should be around 15%. So I could improve that so it's ranking higher in search and I'm getting more traffic from search. So that's something that's not accounted for here. And then on the flip side, if it's heavily browsed, so something like this I know is going to be a suggested video or a browse video. And in those situations, YouTube pushes it out a whole lot more. So they have far more impressions, which means that you're going to have a lower click-through rate. And so realistically, a 5% click-through rate for a video that is going to be browse content or suggested content for my channel is pretty good. So 5.5% is definitely really decent. Something down here like 2.5%, this is a great example of where you'd want to say like, all right, this one probably is targeting search and this one is also not performing as well as it could. So very powerful tool here, but like I said, you definitely want to take a little bit of an extra step and look into where your traffic's actually coming from and consider if the CTR is actually high or if it's low for that. And by the way, I think ClickMagnet only comes with TubeBuddy Premium or at least TubeBuddy Legend or whatever the licensed one that you choose. I'm not sure exactly what it does come with. So if we go to the free one, let's just see if it comes with that or not. So it looks like ClickMagnet. We can say get started, and yeah, so we do actually have to upgrade our license to use that one. So like I said, guys, the free one comes with a lot of really great stuff, a lot of cool integrations. More so I'll show you when we actually get to the YouTube platform itself, not just YouTube Studio. But the paid version, if you want to use a lot of these SEO tools, the paid version definitely makes a big difference. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you in the extension tools, which again, there are extremely powerful things. You can really dive deeper than I even showed you here. And it's a great way to kind of manage your channel proactively. So this is about changing your thumbnails, changing your SEO, and really optimizing everything. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the website tools. And it doesn't matter which one you click on, it's just going to open up TubeBuddy dashboard in another page or another tab. So for the purpose of this video, let's just click on Health Report. And like I said, everything that we saw over here, so all of these, A/B test, retention analyzer, all of that is within here. So in fact, I think there's even more right here as well. So it's just easier for me to just go to this dashboard and work through this way. So starting off the first one, these are all drop-down boxes, data and insights. We can go to our health report. As you see here, it's going to show us really just the basics. It tells you about the views you're getting, the subscribers you have, and the uploads, as well as some basic trends. So it's going to show you if you're down in views, down in subscribers, up in engagement. And this is pretty common for this time of year for me. So right around now, a lot of my views come from my subscribers and more just kind of fun videos I'm making where, it's a seasonal thing. Like tech reviews are seasonal because a lot of times tech release season is sometime in like August through November, where a lot of companies are releasing a lot of new products. And then my channel has a big uptick then. And then of course in February, fewer companies are releasing products, fewer people are buying products, and it's a little bit of a downtrend. So this is pretty common to see this, but it kind of just shows you the relative numbers. So we're getting far fewer dislikes now and only a little bit fewer likes. So that's a good thing. It means that right now people seem to like my content more, that people that are watching it, they're more engaged, they're watching longer, they're leaving comments, they're leaving fewer dislikes. And so that kind of stuff is generally good to see. it's really important to read into this a lot more than just you see on the surface, because like I said, even though it looks like the channel is going down a lot, it's going down with the season, and you can see that there are still improvements being made to the channel. So that's pretty much with the first one, what you need to know. Channel valuation is cool. You don't actually need to go through TubeBuddy to do this. You can do this through Social Blue Book, which, as it says right there, is totally connected here anyway. And it's really powerful. So I've gone to Social Blue Book before, and they help you choose how much to ask for a sponsorship, or how much to ask for a dedicated video or post or social media stuff. And it gives you a nice general idea of what you should be charging. Of course, this is again something Nate and I mentioned in the course, how to actually calculate this yourself. And it's something that we've done. And it's not too, like, Social Blue Book's great, is a great start, but it's not always correct, because it doesn't always account very well for the category you're in. So for example, comedy channels versus finance channels are going to charge or command very different values for their sponsorships. Retention Analyzer is something super powerful. I love looking at this, because if you go on YouTube Studio, you can look at individual videos and see the graph, but it's so much easier to look at this and see how many people are watching at 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, and you can sort by like the most and the least watched at 1 minute. So this one, for some reason, people dropped off pretty fast. At 1 minute, only 40% of people were watching. I think it was a relatively short video though, so it kind of makes sense. But again, it just shows you that maybe people were a little bit less interested in smart glasses. And if we look at the other way, my channel, they seem to be very interested in smartwatches. So that's something that I totally expected. I already know that about my channel, but it is really nice that they do that. And because I mentioned that different videos are obviously different lengths, we can go by retention percent. So how many people, maybe like 50%, halfway through the video, we can look at time, or we can look at percent. So it is a little bit more complicated. I generally just use by time, but you can see again by here that Amazon Smart Glasses one seemed to not perform especially well. So for one reason or another, I would probably want to go back and watch that video and see what I did in that video that people didn't necessarily like. And then on the flip side, you can see that, for example, this video for both time and percent performed very well. So it had a really good watch time. It's something I could go back and look at and see, what did people like about that? Or maybe it was just anecdotally, for some reason, this topic, people were more interested in it, or maybe where the traffic came from. But it's a great way to kind of get some insight into what's happening on your channel. We can go down to usage stats. This one is a little bit less useful for me. It's going to kind of try to persuade you that you're saving money by using TubeBuddy and not spending time on your own doing this stuff. I'm not really sure. I have never really gained anything meaningful out of this, but we can go down to Launchpad. Launchpad is going to be another really cool thing where you can choose certain videos and kind of optimize them. So you have like a checklist for your uploads. You have a best practices setup, so you can add like chapters and captions and stuff like that. Opportunity setup, and of course active monitoring as well. So if you want to be getting notifications by email or TubeBuddy alerts, you can do that. But from dashboard, essentially the way this is going to work is you can select a video. So if we want to select a video that maybe I uploaded, so let's find a recent one, or why don't we just say this one, and we can say, let's process that. And it's going to kind of tell you what you did with this, what you have not yet done, and you can kind of see some of this in the YouTube dashboard as well, but it'll tell you kind of what you can change and what you can improve to have this video ranking better. So your title, your cards, your playlists, your captions, your end screens. Again, tags don't matter for me. For smaller channels, maybe they do, and I'm not going to tell you not to use tags, but I'm just saying, at least once you hit like 50,000 subscribers, don't waste your time on tags. You don't need tags. And so to prove that YouTube really doesn't care about tags, if you go to upload a video, you have to scroll all the way down. And even right here, they say tags can be useful for misspelled content. Otherwise, they play a minimal role. So it doesn't really matter. YouTube says it right here that they don't care about tags unless it's something that is typically misspelled. So closing out of that, you can see that here they're telling me that cards are missing. So back to our launch. So back to our launch status, they're telling us that we don't have cards in this video. They found a broken link. It's actually not a broken link. I don't know why they said it's a broken link. They say our tags are too short, because I actually have no tags in here, because like I said, tags don't really matter. And then they say that the title doesn't contain tags, right? Because I didn't use tags. But they show you opportunities. So they could say that we could add tags, or we could have some more community responses. Maybe people left comments that I didn't reply to, which they absolutely did. I try to reply to comments, but I don't have infinite time. And of course, we can have an upload checklist. So this is not super powerful, but it's a convenient way to see if you forgot anything, or really if you have broken links. That's really why I would use this the most. So I don't have to go and check all of my affiliate links or all of my links in every single video. It's just way easier to just do it that way. So that's pretty much everything in Launchpad. Going down to search rank tracking. you can track keywords, you can look at ranking reports. I don't have anything being tracked right now, and I'm not going to get into that too much, but it's something that it's cool to see that, and it's also something that you can see in a second. So if we actually go to YouTube, quick little detour here, guys, we're going to go to YouTube right now, and if we look at a video, you can see what you're ranking for. So if we go to my channel, and let's just go to videos, let's just say maybe like this one here, an older video. You'll see that on the right, we have our Channelytics here. And for this video in particular, we can see what tags were used, which currently there are no tags, but if there were, we could see how well we're ranking for each of those tags. So it's a cool way. That's the only reason I would ever really add tags right now, is because it is nice to see how high you're ranking. So if I had like Pixel 5 was one of my tags, then it would tell me where I rank for the search Pixel 5. And okay, so that's all I really wanted to mention about that, but we'll get back to Videolytics in a second. Continuing on right here, we can go down and see competitors, so we can manage that, and if we're tracking our competitors, it's not something that, I mean, it is fun to treat YouTube as a game and maybe like compete with people, but really competitors is more so important for seeing what other people do well versus what you do well. So I can look at other channels that have far more views than I per subscriber, or far more views per video, and I can find other people that have far more subscribers per view, and I can really kind of figure out what they're doing right to gain subscribers or to gain views, and I can kind of mimic that to some extent, or see what strategies they were using and implement that on my channel to really start to improve my own channel. So competitors are a great experiment out there where you can essentially have a control group, see what other people are doing, and start to implement some of those tactics on your own. So you're not just out on your own, completely experimenting all the time, figuring everything out on your own. It's good to see what other people are doing and what's working for your industry. Your scorecard, of course, compares you to your competitors. And right now, I don't have any competitors being tracked because I personally prefer to do that without TubeBuddy. So I think that's going to be a theme in this tutorial, is that TubeBuddy has so many tools available, so many different tools for any channel out there, but every channel is going to be at a different stage in their career. So when you're just starting off, honestly, all of these tools are going to be great. They're going to be great to see, like, just get a general idea of how to do different stuff and really learn really quickly using TubeBuddy. And as your channel develops, as it matures, and as you get better at making YouTube content, some of these are going to be less relevant to you. So for example, as I showed before, it's going to be less relevant for you maybe to use the Keyword Explorer. Maybe you just get better at choosing videos and you don't need to use that anymore. And so even though some things go away, other tools become even more powerful. So competitors becomes more powerful. Launchpad is still very powerful. And really what I like, as we're going to get down to in a second, is A/B testing. Now, A/B testing is something that really never gets old. And as you start to get more data, being a larger channel and getting more views, it really starts to help a lot. So what you can do here is you can look at which videos are not performing well, which the reason that all these CTRs are low is because that's why I'm running the A/B test. So you can look at any video that for some reason is maybe not performing well, and you can do an A/B test. And essentially the way this works is if we just want to create a new one, we'll go and create a test. We can choose a recent upload. So maybe I want to choose this one, for example, and we can do one of two things. We can do a metadata test, which is your thumbnail and your title and maybe your tags if you want, and your description as well. Or we can do a CTR test. Now, definitely be aware that the metadata test does mean that YouTube has to re-index that, which could potentially hurt your rankings, which means that if you go back to the same title, it might not rank as high as it did before, which is why I generally just do the CTR test. And the CTR test is going to be your thumbnail, which is really important, and I find it makes an even bigger impact anyway. And this is something that you can choose the current thumbnail, and you can choose an alternate thumbnail. And so we can either do this with a 14-day or whatever day we want, or we can do it until it's statistically significant. That's typically what I do. And what we would do here is say continue, and we can choose a second thumbnail. And the way this works is every day it switches between your first thumbnail and your alternate thumbnail, and every 24 hours it just keeps switching until they find a statistical significance between the click-through rate of your original and the click-through rate of your test thumbnail, and whichever one's higher automatically gets implemented. And it's something that I've seen in the past. Whenever I'm using this, I could go and, for example, this video right here was not doing well. But really the threshold of where YouTube really started to like it was at about 7.5% CTR. So 7% was too low. I switched over to this thumbnail, and all of a sudden it just started doing substantially better, and it started getting far more views. So that little subtle difference of just 15% improvement in the CTR can make a massive difference in the number of views you're going to get. This was on track to maybe get 40,000 lifetime views, This one, I believe, is already well over 100,000. So it's something that really makes a big difference there. And that's why I really like to use A/B testing. I have a bunch that I've already removed, but A/B testing is something that you can use multiple times. You can go between these two and find that maybe this one's better, and then between these two and you find that this one's a little better, and you can keep kind of iterating and figuring out which one's actually the best thumbnail to use. So these, as you can see, really not that different. I thought color would make a big difference, but I'm just testing things out. And now I'm going to make another thumbnail in my next round of testing and see if that one performs better than this one right here. So A/B testing, again, I can't emphasize this enough. This makes a huge, huge difference. You'll see that we're talking about this a lot. If you follow Patty Galloway, he talks about this a lot as well. Like, your click-through rate is absolutely everything. Making the best thumbnail you can and testing that is really how you find successful videos. Other than that, we can go down to backups and exports, and this is really going to be a good way to kind of back up your channel in case anything ever happens. I don't know anybody that had any big issues with YouTube, anything going wrong, but regardless, it's still nice to have a backup of your channel. It's going to back up all of your metadata, all the stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about, if everything goes wrong, if it just gets deleted for whatever reason, you'll still have all this stuff right here. You can download as a CSV if you want, if you really don't trust TubeBuddy either, but it's just nice to have that. And so that's pretty much everything I want to show you guys in the dashboard here on TubeBuddy. But getting back to YouTube itself, the Videolytics is something that is really powerful. So if I just go to Nate's channel, it's going to make me look bad by doing this. Nate's channel, so Nate O'Brien. And his channel, he just hit 1 million. There we go. Got to call him and say, good job on 1 million. So there we go. We go to a video. Videolytics on the right side are really cool. So it's going to show us how many views he has on this video, which it looks like in like a day, he already has 65,000 views, or I guess it's 2 days. He has 500 comments. It shows you how many down here are actually from the creator. And then we can go and say, click to load. Where's he ranking for his own name or his only tag? I guess by default, his name is his only tag. And so it shows you like the SEO score. Didn't give it a good one, but obviously his video is doing well. So he's not really ranking for search here yet, but eventually I think he will. It also shows you if it was shared on social media. So that's a really cool thing that is otherwise almost impossible to find. So this is when somebody copies your share link, so share, and they go to like social media, they choose Facebook or whatever. And it's really cool that you can see this on there. We can also see his channel in general, so 1 million subscribers, 46 million views, 155 videos, and what best practices he followed. As you can see here, didn't add timestamps, didn't add info cards. I don't really add info cards either, and didn't add an end screen. I usually add an end screen. I recommend adding an end screen. But you can see here we can compare his video to other ones, or we can go to Channelytics, and this is really what I like the most. So I guess I might have called this Channelytics before. This is Videolytics. Channelytics compares his channel to my channel, and this is really cool. So I can look at his channel, and you'll see right here what keywords he's ranking for or whatever, and we can say compare stats. It should be showing up right now, so for whatever reason it's not. Okay, so here we go. I don't know why that took so long to load, but you can see on the left side the views, the total view count for this month as well as for all time. So you can see how well he's doing. It looks like it's a pretty decent month, pretty average month, I guess, for him. And it shows us the views for his channel versus my channel. So we're seeing that we're both getting about the same amount of views. So that's pretty common. We've been getting a similar amount of views for the past couple months. And when we go to subscribers, this is where you see a pretty big difference. So like I said, it's going to make me look bad here. Nate gets way more subscribers than I do. And that could come down to a couple things. It could be his style of video. It could be his personality. It could be the channel style. So for example, finance channels tend to have a higher subscriber ratio than something more like a search-based tech channel. And so it's something cool that you can look at your competitors though, and you can see how well you're doing compared to them. And of course, we can also go down to the third one, which is the videos you released in the last month. And it looks like we're both doing a pretty poor job on releasing a lot of content right now. But now, the last thing I wanted to show you guys was that when you actually go into your comments, you can actually go and use TubeBuddy again to filter your comments based on ones that you have not replied to or ones you need to follow up with, ones that have a question, like a lot of really powerful stuff, which as you start to have a larger audience or start to get more views, it's something that becomes more and more powerful. So if you get like one comment a day, which, I mean, that's awesome, it's really easy to manage that yourself, though. You're not going to have to sort that. But once you start getting, hundreds or thousands or whatever comments per day, it can become really powerful then to go back and see comments you hearted, comments that maybe you did not react to, and start to engage with your audience based on certain stuff. So question is a really good one. So you can just go and see which ones had a question. We can see 20 results, say go, and it's going to do a great job of identifying those and showing them right here so I can go and reply to those people. So that's a cool thing with TubeBuddy. Of course, as you go through your dashboard on YouTube Studio, there are even more tools than that. But guys, I hope you found this video helpful. TubeBuddy has so many powerful tools here. And I mean, I wish I could spend more time going in detail with more of these. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment down below, and maybe we'll make more videos about TubeBuddy. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. I wish you guys the best of luck with your channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.